friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I have some breaking news, some great news for the month of March. We are going to be getting Sith Marauder as the login character. Now I'm really excited about that. March, at the making of this video, is tomorrow, and while I have Sith Marauder, I really think that this is going to be an interesting, very, very interesting month, because we have all been speculating that we are going to be getting something regarding KOTOR soon. Does it make sense? It absolutely does. Now, this isn't necessarily leaked information, although there's a kit that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But based on the fact that they typically do something related to the tunes that they've just launched to free to play, they usually do something regarding, usually, not always, but typically that's what they do. That being the case, it makes sense that a Darth Revan or quite possibly a Darth Malak is coming to the game. Now, I think that it is more likely that we're going to get a Darth Revan than a Darth Malak. I still hold out hopes, although now they are fleeting, that the Gamorrean Guard is going to be reworked, and that image that we saw from Warrior's video was not a red herring, not a tease, not a placeholder, but really we're getting Gamorrean Guard with 3 Zetas. And that is only slightly sarcastic. But, guys, I am really excited about this. But to look at what his kit could look like versus what we think it should look like, we have to do a bit of diving. Now, there was this image that's been floating around the internets, the Discord chat rooms, and I find it fascinating. This would be a really cool kit if we could see it coming. But it would essentially turn the meta on its head, which is what I think this is going to do anyways. I think a Darth Revan kit will be a hard counter for the current Revan kit. I was looking at this, and there's a lot of really cool stuff. There's a lot of really neat stuff. But someone in my Discord channel brought this up to me, and I'm going to call him out, Yerf Kaasi. And I love this comment. So Yerf, hopefully I'm not insulting or whatever, but he says there's no way that this kit is right. Darth Revan won't apply. He says there's no way this kit is right. Darth Revan won't apply Death Mark. It'll be marked again, which again makes sense. Death Marked would make him far too OP, right? HK-47, however, will apply Death Marked. And this is why Bastila synergizes with Death Marked and Marked. I find that absolutely fascinating and a valid point. That if you look at the kits for Canderous Ordo, HK-47, Sith Marauder to some extent, and Bastila, I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to be illuminated for us, right? And so let's go ahead and jump onto that. And first off, let's just look at Sith Marauder. Now, deals damage to target enemy, inflicts offense down for 2 turns. That's his basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy and grant all allies potency up for 2 turns. If it's a critical hit, reduce the target's max health by 15, which can't be resisted until the end of the encounter. Raid bosses, the attack ignores armor. That's pretty freaking cool. His unique Sith Marauder has 10% defense, 10% health steal, 10% tenacity for each buff on all characters. Okay? Sith Marauder has a plus 2% critical chance, plus 2% offense, and plus 2% potency for each debuff on all characters. Whenever an enemy uses an ability outside of their turn, Sith Marauder gains 20%. Okay, solid character. He's been around for a little over a year. I think there's something that we're finally going to see with this, okay? And I think Darth Revan is going to be a character who grants his opponents or his allies tons of abilities and just is going to make them awesome. Now, let's look at Bastila real quick, right? She's got that unique corrupted battle meditation. I think Darth Revan is going to have an awesome leadership ability. I don't rightly know what it is, but based on his Jedi Knight Revan leadership ability, it's got to be something powerfully awesome because it's amazing. And Revan was a solid leader no matter light or dark. So I think we're going to see something pretty groundbreaking with his leadership ability. But Bastila's Sith Apprentice ability is interesting. It says Bastila and the character in the leader slot have plus 50% defense and tenacity and gain foresight for 1 turn at the start of the battle. If Basila's leader is a Sith, whenever an enemy is inflicted with death mark, shock, or marked, which, yeah, they both gain 5% offense, stacking up to 100% for the rest of the battle. This doesn't apply to anyone else, right? So I think that he's going to be, if Revan is the character that is coming, he's going to be heavily offensive. He's going to be a character who's going to need a ton of offense. I don't think we're going to see kind of a rework around a kit like we saw with Grievous, so you need like a ton of health. His is going to be offense driven, and that's, I really feel like he's going to hit hard. Now, Revan was an excellent fighter. He hurt people effectively, and so he was great duelist, and he's going to be a character that hits hard, and I think this is going to make him hit harder. Now, if you look at Canderous has this weird thing. If you look at his uniqueness, Canderous deals 50% more damage with his basic and overwhelming firepower to enemies that are taunting, death marked, or marked, right? So we know that those 3 somehow are connected, right, with whoever's coming. Whenever an enemy with damage over time effect is damaged by an attack, Canderous gains 8% turn meter. When an enemy gains taunt or becomes death marked, or Canderous gains a critical chance up and critical damage up. So here's the thing. It is possible that this new character, this new Darth Revan, it doesn't make sense that it would be Malak because these are the characters that were launched. It would make sense that these characters are going to have, this character, Darth Revan, is going to somehow be able to inflict damage over time. Now that might be a stretch, but if you look at HK47, Meatbag Mayhem deals damage over time. If you go back to Sith Marauder, when ability is used outside of their turn, Sith Marauder gains potency up, or he gains 20% turn meter. What I'm thinking is we're going to see damage over time. We're going to see marked very much like Jedi Knight Revan. It's going to allow Sith Marauder to go fast. Because if you think about it, if 3 other characters and him are using abilities outside of their turn, right? If they're attacking, then all of a sudden Sith Marauder is going to get to go again, which he's going to inflict offense down. This is going to be a crazy, amazing thing. I think all of this coming together is going to make sure that Jedi Knight Revan, if and when he's coming, and I do think that he is, guys, I do think he's on his way, is going to be awesome. Like, I'm really excited for this because this is going to be sweet. Now, if you look at the Wikipedia, if you look at his kit, or just his abilities, he was great telekinesis. He was able to inflict the way things moved around him. So I would like maybe to see an ability where he throws something, right, besides his lightsaber naturally. But I don't know, or maybe like additional lightsabers, because there were times when he was able to control additional lightsabers around him. That would be really cool. I think he's coming. I think he's going to be awesome. Whatever we see from this kit won't only be just for Arena. I think we are going to see some solid and viable raid teams come from this. I think it's possible with an HK47 rework, instead of just throwing 1 damage over time, I think he'll throw on multiple. I think there might be something that regards around that ability stacking or coming back, kind of like a Vader lead. I think that would make more sense on a Darth Revan than an HK47, but I think that this is going to make these characters that we've seen that we can farm just that much more powerful. Now, last thing there, if this is the case, I expect something to be dropped, a puzzle, a hint, a teaser, something soon. I think we're going to see something in and around this probably within the next couple of days, if not by the end of the week for sure. I think the start of March is going to mark something phenomenal. And hopefully, at the same time, the end of KOTOR for a time. I want to see prequel trilogy. I want to see the clones. I want to see some other work. And I think that's coming in April. Now, if that's coming in March, a lot of other stuff, I think we should see an HK-47 rework soon. I think we should see the Ebon Hawk soon. Potentially, we could see another Sith capital ship or a Sith capital ship. Now there are enough that I think this would be viable and a great time to put it in. Possibly. We shall see. I don't rightly know. If all of this stuff, if a teaser gets dropped within the next couple of days, what you can expect to see is a kit to be released in a week. That's just the time frame that we've seen them use before, right? They tease something about a week, unless some major hiccup happens, we get a kit. About a week later, we get at least, at the very best option, about a week later for free-to-play players, we get the start of a kit or the start of an event. If it's not the best for free-to-play players, expect to see it launch within a few days of the kit being released. Even within 24 hours, potentially, which means between the recording of this video, the end of February, and I don't know, the 12th of March, something to that extent, you could see Revan come. You could also see Darth Revan being awesome, and you can see his event going live. Now, with that being said, what do you think a Revan kit will look like? In the next couple of days, I'm going to put together a survey for what his kit should look like, what you want his kit to look like, and I will put your findings, your thoughts, your feelings together in a video around the time of the kit launch. That being said, guys, the next couple of weeks, next couple of days are going to be exciting. Leave a comment in the section below, like, subscribe, share. Visit us on goingnerdy.com, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Join us on Discord and join the conversation. Let me know what you guys think. This is a great time for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I am very, very excited. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. As always, my friends, smile. Stay nerdy.